Hey, Shalom, Inshallah. When it starts source by giving no praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the balance supposed to GMS and honors to you brothers are doing the work in truth, sincerity. So I'm gonna do a real quick one. It says on the news that basically Russia says it will start tracking US planes after the downing of Syrian jets from USA Today. You've had other news sources basically bringing out the same story, and the other sources actually have more information in them. Basically, Russian MOD has said, look, we're going to start treating all of all of the targets east of the, I think it said east of the Euphrates, as basically targets. Any aircraft east of the Euphrates can be treated as targets. And this is what do you call it? Fulfilling the fulfillment of prophecy, man. Right, but the reason why I've stuck with the USA Today article, right, is the comment section is actually quite funny. It's very funny because you read these comments, and these Edomites genuinely think that the American military, the American superpower, that it's gonna just that's somehow just gonna be able to conquer the whole entire world forever and ever. Right, so in fact let me get this first. Let me load up Psalms 49:11. Right, so Isaiah 31:1 says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right, you got Jake that be doing this, man. And then it goes on to say, he says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because there are many. And that's why a lot of people think, America will never go down because, they've got the strongest military in the world. And in fact, one of the comments here is saying precisely that. It says, where does it say that? Where does it say that? Right, typical Russian whining when confronted with a far more professional, efficient military. I'll bet Putin was having one of his usual hissy fits. Sad, right? But when you actually look at what what happened to the U.S. aircraft, I don't know if it was aircraft carrier, I think it was just warship the other day. It got hit by apparently, got hit by a merchant vessel. So how efficient is that? If it can't, says and trust in chariots because there are many, and in horsemen because they are strong. And you've got Jakes out there, which the scriptures are really speaking to when you read the earth, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, and will seek the Lord, Yahweh. And Israelites are the only one who can really seek Yahweh, right? But this whole trust in chariots and and horses, basically the military might has basically deceived them rather, right? It says Psalms 49:11 says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And like I said, going back to what I was reading before, because the military looks so strong, nobody can imagine, America going down. But the Persians fell, the Egyptians fell. All of the civilizations before the current one have risen and have fallen, right? Let me get Isaiah 47 as well. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. Right, dust representing confusion. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right, it's called virgin daughter of Babylon because in truth it's never actually been touched before, right? You can say, well, Pearl Harbor, but then again, they knew Pearl Harbor was coming. They let that happen, so they had a pretext to go to war, right? It says, take millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Talking about how, America's being found out. The Edomites in general being found out. You had this Grenfell Tower over in England. All of the residents, and people in the local area and people on the grounds thinking, what's going on? What they know and what they're comparing it. It's like, no, something ain't quite right here, right? So let me carry on. It says, thy nakedness shall become uncovered, yea, that shame shall be seen. I'll take vengeance, and I'll not meet thee as a man. Right, when Yahushua comes back, he's coming back in angelic form, and he's coming to do damage pursuant to Isaiah 6 and 15. Right. Let me go down and find that side. Verse 7 says, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Well, America's been going around doing whatever it wants, while not understanding that there's a recompense to be paid for it. Right? And verse 8, and here's the big one, says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right. When you look at the history of America, they've never really had to basically known the loss of children like that. You know, the military wives, their husbands be going to war and then they come back, and then, or rather they don't come back, and if they do, it's in a body bag. They don't really know it like that. I mean, you've had, 5,000 over, 10 years or something like that. I think it's 5,000 over 10 years of war. You really ask, is that really it? Right, but what does the scripture say? It says, but these two things shall come to thee in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. It says, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sources and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Right, so when you had, the U.S. military saying, we're going to allow women now, we're going to allow trannies in there now. Right, basically what they was doing was preparing everyone for that draft. Right, they're going to go and fight into that war in the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment. Right, they're going to go over there and they're just going to be ground down into a pulp. Right, for thou hast trusted in our wickedness. It goes on. It's a good chapter to get into. Right, but we'll get into Ezekiel 38 as well, going back into this. Scriptures prophesy that there's going to be a war between Russia and America, and you see that coming to pass more and more each day. Right, and this was another example of it. Because the bear being Russia, can only be made to look like an idiot for so long before something happens where they're going to say, yo, enough is enough. But scripture say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw who up? Draw these Edomites, America, and her allies. They're going to draw them out. And that's when this war is going to start. You've been seeing Iran coming more into the frame recently. Dropping bombs in Syria as well. They even had an attack over there the other day. As Ezekiel 38, verse 2 says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee. Right? We always say, as certain scriptures go over and over again, but it's pertinent. It says, because Yahweh ain't with Russia. But in that land of Gog, the land of Magog, is where Russia is today. Right? And they're Edomites, and the Lord is not with Edomites. When you read over that, the Lord's going to destroy all Edomites. Right? It says the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal says, now turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. Right? Make them into that, into that Cold War mentality, that conquer all mentality. Right? So now bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right, then it starts to list some of the allies, right? Persia, Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya, right, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, Turkey, you've been seeing Turkey come back into the frame as well. After you would have expected that after Turkey shot down the Russian jets, that would have been it. But prophecy has to be fulfilled. You then had the coup in Turkey, and then that flipped the book. Turkey was like, yo, I thought America had our backs, but they ain't really said shit. And then they started leaning towards Russia. Now they're trying to get some S-400s in their arsenal. Right, basically proving these scriptures to be true. Right, this is Jeremiah 50. Right, verse 3 says, for out of the north there come up a nation against them. Right, the her is talking about America, and the north is talking about Russia. Right, because when you look geographically on the map, Russia's in the north. Right, it says, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. they shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Right? When America is destroyed, no beast, no man is going to be in that area ever again. Right? Because of the judgment of the Lord, because of the wickedness. When you read the law, it says, if there's a blood spilled on the land, right? Roughly paraphrase and forget how it goes exactly, but it says if blood is spilled in the land, and that land is unclean until the person who shed that blood, that their blood is shed, right? It says, verse 9, it says, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her, that from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as the arrows of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. As we go into that, Babylon, as we know by now, is talking about America, right? And that assembly of great nations from the north country, we spoke about the north country earlier on, that's Russia. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. They're going to form an alliance against America. When you read the scriptures, even America's allies are going to be against her. Right, it says, from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows representing, the, what do you call it? The ICBM nuclear missiles, right, shall be as of a mighty expert man. When you think of a mighty expert man, a mighty expert archer, someone that doesn't miss, someone that always hits their target, which is why it then goes on and says, none shall return in vain. Right, because when those missiles are shot, none are returning in vain. None are going to be shot down by, those air defense systems that Esau says he has, but he doesn't really have. Right, it says, and they shall be a spoil, and all their hurt that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Sort of like when, you got a guy, man, he's been pissing you off for a minute, you finally get to knock him out, you feel good, you feel satisfied. Right, it says, because ye were glad, but because ye rejoice, all ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and below as bulls, your mother shall be so confounded. And who's that talking about? It's talking about England, right? Because when you look at the history, those Edomite settlers now in America originally came from England, right? Says, ye that bear you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, because of the wrath of Yahweh it shall not be inhabited. So all these guys in these comment sections saying, oh, this, that, and the other, the Russian military can't do shit, this, that, they don't understand what is coming to them, which is why I first brought out Isaiah 31:1, because they believe in the chariots, they believe in the horsemen, right? But they're gonna have a very rude awakening, right? It's because the wrath of Yahweh shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Right? Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. It says, all ye that bend the bow, right? So that's all the nations with their military arsenal. Right, it says, therefore, Revelation 18:8 says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh who judgeth her. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall bewail and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for that 1 hour is thy judgment coming. That's a literal 1 hour America is going to be destroyed. It's taken 400 or odd years, from the backs and the blood of Israel to build up America, and the Lord's going to have it destroyed within an hour. Ain't that something? Right, it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise. And you're right, America's the biggest market in the world. Biggest market in the world. You get a piece of the American market, man. You living good, right? Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to basically speak on this topic. Right, I just touched on a few things, but if you can't see that this third world war is coming up real soon, then you ain't really watching properly, man. So just talk about You know, watch and pray. Watch, see the things that are happening. And the scriptures also talk about measure the time diligently in itself, which is what we're doing here at GMS GreatMillStone through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, starting from the apostles on down, right? So you know, with that, Lord's will you was edified. I say Shalom.